Today's devotional is entitled, God Always Sees Us. We all enjoy peace and quiet, and we get excited for it. We even search it out. Life gets so crazy and hectic that we crave peace and tranquility. We want to just be alone, but we need the time away to recharge and reset ourselves. And people tend to take a lot out of us. And we feel that we deserve this rest, this opportunity to get away from everybody, to not have to deal with anyone but ourselves. And we come out of this quiet time, this alone quiet time, refreshed and able to tackle life again. Many, many times we go into that peace and quiet, just a shell of ourselves. But when we come out, we are the person that we once were before. We are ourselves, basically, in a sense. And people will do all sorts of things to achieve it, from going to the movies by themselves to even dinner, or even going to extremes of hiking and climbing by themselves, sometimes without telling anyone at all. There was a few years ago, there was this man who loved to go climbing and hiking by himself. His name was Aron Ralston. And he had a knack for going off on his own, as it recharged him and gave him a sense of control in his life. And he went out to the canyons of Utah without telling anyone and got his arm stuck in a boulder. And for 5 days, he sits there trying to get out of the situation. He eventually loses his arm. Now, if he'd only told one person where he was going, he may have not lost his arm. We all love to get away from everybody, to get this kind of seclusion from time to time, to get lost in this quiet, to the point where people start asking, where are you? And eventually, we do get to be like Aron Ralston. We get chided and yelled at for disappearing. Many of you guys might not know who this name is, but you would recognize it if I said the movie 127 Hours. It's a true story of Aron who went out and got his arm stuck. But see, no matter how hard we try to disappear, to the point that no one else knows where we're at, God still knows. God always knows where we are, and he can see us no matter the situations in our lives. You see, God isn't like Superman, that if there's lead involved, he can't see us. God sees everything. And we see in Psalms chapter 139, verses 1 through 12, David writes exactly this. And he says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all of my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem in me behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light above me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you, and the night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you." See, here David says, no matter where you go, no matter the situation in your life, God sees you. Now, see, no matter what moments we are in our lives, whatever season we are in, what situations, what sin we're in, even when you want to run away and start all over again, God is still there. He sees you and he wants to comfort you. That no matter how horrible, how desperate these moments of our lives are, God is there for you forever and ever. And I think there's two things we can take away from this. Number one, God knows all of our activities, words, and actions in this life. See, God knows every aspect of our lives better than we do sometimes. Sometimes we get blinded by our weaknesses that we want to overlook them. But see, God knows our weaknesses, our strengths, and he knows every thought that we've ever had and ever will have. And we see in Psalms chapter 44, verse 20 and 21, if we had forgotten the name of our God or spread out our hands to a foreign God, would not God discover this? For he knows the secrets of the heart. See, God knows all the secrets that we try to hide from each other. The side that nobody else sees, God sees it, no matter what. And number two, there is no place that God does not see us. You see, the darkness is not so dark that he can't see us, that God is able to search us out and always find us. That no matter how desperate the situations in our lives, no matter how deep those sins may go, that makes us feel so separated from everyone else, God is able to see you and still come to you. You see, in Jeremiah chapter 24, verses 23 and 24, it says, "Am I a God at hand, declares the Lord, and not a God far away? Can a man hide himself in secret places so that I cannot see him, declares the Lord? Do I not fill heaven and earth, declares the Lord?" There's no place that God cannot see us at. No place that our Father cannot find us. Because of this, that God knows our lives better, that he knows all of our activities, words, and actions, and that he sees us no matter where we go. He loves us so much that we're made in his own image, that we're fearfully and wonderfully made, that no matter how many times we try to escape the realities of this world, to try to go off on our own, to recharge sometimes, or just to get away from everybody, God is still there beside us 100% of the time. You see, God has his handiwork in each and every one of us. Psalms 139, verses 13 and 14, David says, For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You see, each and every single person that's in here today was put together by the Father. Because of this, he knows us personally. And that's why he's able to always find us no matter where we go. You see, God is always searching. He always knows where we're at because he made us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made by the Father. No matter how many times we try to just escape the realities of this world, no matter how many times that person just annoys you and you just want to leave and never come back. And sometimes we just do that. And nobody knows where we're at. But the Father always knows where we're at. He can always point us back to where we need to be, and that's towards him. You see, in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, it says, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. There's so much power in this, that before you were formed in the womb, God knew you. Out of all of the billions of people in this world, God knows every single person. He knows your innermost secrets and weaknesses. He knows your joys. He knows everything about you. He's always there beside you, no matter what season of your life is in. And when so many times when we feel so alone because things are just kind of stacking up against us, you're never alone because the Father is right there beside you trying to comfort you. And sometimes we don't see it, but it comes in the form of a friend, a song, a Bible verse. We have to look for signs that the Father, who's always desperately searching for us and always knows where we're at and is able to see us, is always there beside us. That is the devotional for today. God always sees us.